Hello! Video number 2. Right, so today's video I thought I would share some little facts about Sweden, and now I'm using the word facts very loosely here because I haven't actually specifically researched any of these things that I'm telling you. It's more just my own personal experience and what people have told me. So if there are any Swedes out there watching this and you're like, I never do that, or that's not even true, then feel free to totally tell me, call me on my bullshit, and that'll be fine. But yeah, this is just my own little personal experiences and things that I'd like to share that I find interesting, a little bit weird, very different. Yeah, so let's go. The first thing that I thought I'd talk about is celebrations, and specifically one celebration that we do not celebrate in New Zealand, and I'm not sure how many other countries actually do celebrate it. It's called Midsummer, and it's a very old pagan tradition that is celebrated at the end of June over a weekend. And it consists of usually families and friends getting together. You eat together, and then you usually go down to say a local park or a side of a lake or something, and someone has organised or put up like a very large, I think it's a very large piece of wood that's been wrapped in leaves and flowers, and then it also has 2 round rings beside it, and it's meant to symbolise a phallus, which is fertilising the earth. And you dance around it, or children and parents and me dance around it and sing little songs, and I think it's a really fun tradition, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it this year. I actually wore this dress the last time that I was here in Sweden celebrating it, so I'm really excited. But this also brings me on to my next little interesting fact, which is that at Midsummer, Easter and Christmas you eat the same food, which I find troubling, unusual, and a bit funny. Yeah, so you find on your table Christmas, Easter and Midsummer ham, salmon, little sausages, meatballs, ribs, sill, which is pickled herring, don't go near that, or I don't go near that, and potatoes, cheese, yeah, just all of that 3 times a year. And I feel like I've just eaten it because Easter was really not that long ago, and I just think it's so funny as well because I hear Swedes say, you know, I don't actually like half the stuff on the table, but it has to be on the table, you know, it's just not the right celebration if everything isn't on the table. I mean, Christopher, boyfriend, just had to share that just in case there is anyone out there who doesn't know me, which would be very exciting if you're watching this, welcome. But he doesn't even like half the stuff on the table, and yet I think he'd be quite pissed off if he found that the salmon was missing, even though he doesn't go near it. So it's quite funny. But yeah, so another thing I love about Sweden, which takes us on to, what's the next little fact that I can share with you? I'd want to share about the alcohol system here in Sweden. So the alcohol sellers, or the selling of alcohol is controlled by the government. So there is one store called Systemet, and each town has 1 to however many they need shops, Systemet, and that is where you buy your alcohol, and there is no other place to buy alcohol in Sweden unless you want alcohol that is less, up to 3.5%, which you can buy at the supermarket. But I mean, as I think a lot of people in New Zealand would say, does that even exist? I've never even seen that kind of alcohol. I'm sure it probably just tastes watered down. I haven't tasted it myself. But anyway, so yeah, Systemet is the place to go if you want alcohol, and it's kind of similar, I think, to like a large pharmacy in that it's very clean and even more organised than a pharmacy. But you go in, it's like a supermarket for alcohol, you know, there's clear aisles, and it's very organised and tidy, and everyone that works there knows a lot about alcohol. So say for example, if you're like, I'm going to have a fish meal, what wine should I have with it? They'll be easily able to help you. And it's so strange coming from New Zealand where alcohol shops are open, you know, all day, to coming here where alcohol shops are open Monday to Friday, I think it's 10 till 7 p.m, Saturday 10 till 3 or 4 p.m, and then Sunday it's closed. So there's no option, you know, 10 p.m, oh, I want to go have some drinks. That's not an option. So they're very organised here, and for example on a Friday or Saturday afternoon, you know that Systemet, the alcohol shop, will be very busy, especially on the 25th of each month, or around the 25th. And that brings me on to my next fact, which is that nearly everyone in Sweden gets paid on the same day every month, and that is the 25th of the month, which totally new to me again. I'm used to getting paid weekly or 2 weekly or 3 weekly. It just changes from job to job in New Zealand. But here, everyone on the 25th, guaranteed, which is, yeah, it's so funny because you know that alcohol shops are going to be really busy, you know that the supermarkets are going to be really busy, and you also know that it's a great weekend to go out and party because everyone's got money and they're ready to spend. And yeah, it's great for planning. It's shitty if you run out of money and you've still got 2 or 3 weeks to go, but yeah, totally new system to me as well. Let me know if you know of any other countries that do that, because I think it's so interesting. And yeah, all these places must really plan, like, oh, we've got to have lots of stock at this time, and you know, it's not going to be such a great week for the last week of the month when everyone's waiting to get paid and stuff like that. I think it's, yeah, it just shows how organised Sweden is. Another little fact that you may or may not know is that every Swedish citizen, or anyone who has a residence permit, such as me, receives a personal number. And this is a number that corresponds specifically to you. It contains your birth date and then 4 extra numbers. And in those 4 numbers, it contains numbers that suggest whether you're a male or a female. And basically, that number you use everywhere to register yourself. Say, the doctors, dentists, you're signing up for a mobile phone contract, you're buying a house, you're signing up for university, everything, your personal number is included. And it just, classic rookie mistake, the camera ran out. Anyway, I'll start from the start and see if we can cut this in. Anyway, yes, it is very easy to find out personal information about people around you, and people are very willing to share that information about themselves, it seems. So people are confident to ask, or comfortable with asking you what you earn or how much your house costs, and people are very willing to share this information. But it's also very to find that information out if you don't want to ask them. I don't know why you do this, but anyway, it's very easy to find out how much people earn. You can just search it up. From what I understand, very easy to find out people's mobile numbers, very easy to find out how much their house costs. You could contact your local school and find out someone's marks. It's just very, very open, which I'm not sure how I feel about it, as I haven't really witnessed, or I haven't experienced, you know, my information widely shared. But for example, politicians, their tax information is just, you know, their tax declaration is just out in the open, so there's no hiding that. There's no dramatic problems of, oh, so-and-so has spent this money on, you know, porn or something like that, which has happened in New Zealand in the past, and it's come out and it's been a bit dramatic, because politicians wouldn't risk doing that because it'd be so easily found out. Yeah, I don't know how many other countries would feel about this. I know that a lot of people would get very upset in New Zealand if we had, you know, people get upset that we have IRD numbers, which is just for, you know, employment and taxes. And no, I'm pretty into my personal number. It really makes you feel like a part of Swedish society and makes everything very, very, very easy. You never, you know, yeah, it's just really easy. Right, next little fact about Sweden. This is a little bit of a weird one, but Christopher, boyfriend, really wanted me to share this one. Bestiality, as in sex with animals, is still legal in Sweden. I have no idea why. I don't know if they're looking into getting rid of it, or whether it was just one of those really old laws that they haven't bothered to really get rid of because it's not really relevant. I'm not really sure. From what I do understand, though, that if you're like caught having sex with an animal, you then have to prove that the animal has not experienced any physical or psychological damage. Now, I understand the physical side. I don't know how you try to understand, for example, if a sheep is unhappy with its experience. But yeah, it kind of creeps me out a bit, and Christopher loves to share it. I know several of you already know, but yeah, it's not something that Swedes talk about or really even think about, so I think it's just one of those old ones that they just haven't got around to getting rid of, but maybe they should, right? Maybe they should. What's another interesting little thing which I find unusual, and I don't think would ever happen in New Zealand, but obviously because we have different climates. So in Sweden, it is very popular, say for example today where it is super, super hot, I'm like sweating sitting here. But anyway, it's very common to go out and sunbathe, and really, really sunbathe. In New Zealand, as most of my viewers are from there know, you don't really do that. I mean, you'll go to the beach and you'll lie and dry off and you'll get a bit of sun and stuff like that. But it's stupid to lie out all day unless you're basically asking for skin cancer, or unless you're really, I don't know, you tan really well. But still, it's it's not good for your skin, and it's a stupid thing to do. We've all learned that we should slap on that sunscreen, put on a t-shirt, a hat, etc., etc. We shouldn't choose to lie out in the sun. But in Sweden, it's an activity that you do. It's actually, say if someone asks you, oh, what did you do today? You say, oh, I lay out and fried myself, is the Swedish term, or you sunned yourself. And I was just outside before, just enjoying laying in the shade, and there were several girls just lying out there in bikini, just, you know, for hours, and I didn't see any sunblock anywhere around them. And yeah, it's amazing, and so many people are so tanned in Sweden, which I'm so jealous of, because I do not tan. And I thought coming here I was going to be amongst my pale brothers and sisters, but I wasn't. You'd think, you know, a land of snow in a very short summer, that everyone would be pale, but they really, really are not. I know there's a lot of fake tan being used, but also they just get really tanned, and they also go on holidays where they go to Greece and Thailand and they come back brown, so brown. So I haven't succumbed to fake tanning yet, but I really feel a bit, I really stand out, and it's sad. Us poor little English roses with our pale skin. Yeah, it's a bit sad. I am jealous of the tanners, but I won't get skin cancer, hopefully, fingers crossed. Not saying that they will either, because I think the Swedish sun is a lot weaker than at home, but yeah, it's a bit funny. Actually, Swedes in general spend a lot of time outside. They're really into working out. You constantly see people running or walking their dogs 24/7. It really, you almost feel guilty that you're not having outdoor time. Yeah, they're really into exercising and being fit, and they seem to talk about it a lot, and they eat really healthy. Aside from the fact that they're the largest consumers of candy in the world, apparently, or the largest consumers of sugar or something. They have a huge candy selection at the supermarket, which I actually thought would maybe make a cool video to show you me trying out different Swedish candy, because there's some pretty different ones to what we have at home, so that might be another video. Anyway, yeah, I think I'll leave it here now. I've shared a couple of interesting little facts and tidbits. Let me know if you want to know anything more. I'll probably come up with lots more after this, and maybe there'll be a second video. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't know what that was.